Okay, we need to interrupt your regularly scheduled listening for a second. There's some pretty urgent news coming out of the NFL.
That's right. It sounds like, well, a real firestorm is brewing over one specific play.
A play that's got everyone talking, and it might actually face a ban. We're talking maybe even this week. It's the Tush Push.
Yeah, the big headline right now is just that. Should the NFL actually outlaw the Tush Push? And this isn't just, chatter anymore. There's a vote coming up.
A vote that could really change how teams approach those critical short yardage plays.
Absolutely. It's got major implications.
Okay, so forget the hot takes for a minute. You've gathered some really good, detailed analysis for us from the experts over at USA Today, and our mission here is to dig into that. We want to get past the noise.
Right. Understand the arguments, the nuances, the potential consequences.
Exactly. So by the end of this, you'll have a much better handle on why this one play is causing such a commotion.
Okay, so first things first. For anyone maybe not totally familiar, what is this tush push, or brotherly shove, as Philly calls it?
Right. It's basically become the Philadelphia Eagles' go-to play in those must-have short yardage situations. 3rd and 1, 4th and inches.
Okay.
So quarterback Jalen Hurts, he takes the snap right under center. Then, as he surges forward like a normal QB sneak, he gets this big, coordinated push from behind.
Usually guys like Dallas Goedert, maybe some linemen pile in there too.
Exactly. It's this synchronized shove, really.
Yeah.
And look, it was a huge part of their run to the Super Bowl last year. The numbers don't lie either.
What are we looking at statistically?
Since 2022, the Eagles have converted something like 86% of these plays in short yardage. 86%.
Wow. And the league averages?
Only about 76%, so it's a pretty significant jump.
Okay, yeah. That 10% difference, that's huge in those situations. And that difference, that effectiveness, is really what's sparking this whole thing, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's not just, slightly better. It's a noticeable statistical advantage.
And now the league's really paying attention. The Green Bay Packers, they've put forward an actual proposal to ban it.
And the owners are voting this week. So this has gone from strategy talk to, potential rule changes.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah. You could kind of feel this building, couldn't you? Remember that NFC Championship game?
Oh, yeah.
Sean Hochuli, the ref, basically saying to the Commanders something like, just give them the first down already. It really captured that feeling of, inevitability.
It did. It put a huge spotlight on how tough it is for defenses to stop it. And now, here we are talking about a ban.
Okay, so let's unpack the arguments. Let's start with keeping it. Why do some experts think the tush push should stay in the game?
Well, Nate Davis at USA Today brings up fairness. He kind of frames it as, look, is this about a broken play, or is it punishing the Eagles just because they figured it out and nobody else has really copied it successfully?
That's an interesting point, like a vendetta almost.
Sort of, yeah. He quotes Landon Dickerson, one of their guards, who basically says it's just a modified QB sneak. And Jordan Mailata, their tackle, even calls it mental warfare.
And what about safety? That's often part of these discussions.
Davis points out there's no real data showing it's more dangerous. He contrasts it with, say, a running back trying to punch it in from the goal line, like Saquon Barkley taking hits. So his vote is clear. Keep it.
Right. So the argument is, it's legal, they're just really good at it, and where's the proof it's actually more dangerous than other standard power plays?
Pretty much. Then you've got Tyler Dragon. He adds this interesting layer saying, it's kind of refreshing to even consider a rule that might help the defense because so many rules lean towards the offense these days.
That's true. Offense gets a lot of the advantages rule-wise.
But he ultimately argues the play isn't technically unstoppable, even if it's very effective for Philly. And again, he emphasizes the lack of injury data, suggesting it's inherently riskier.
So for him, it's a physical play in a physical game, and maybe the lead shouldn't shy away from that.
Exactly. He lands on keeping it too.
Okay. What about Jack McKessie? He had a bit of a different take, right?
Yeah, he had that funny line calling the Packers proposal like something a tattletale child would do.
Okay.
His main point is, look, any team could try this. It's not some secret magic trick the Eagles have patented.
Right. The playbook isn't locked away.
The fact that other teams aren't doing it or aren't as good at it suggests Philly just executes it better. Maybe they have the better personnel for it, the better scheme. He also picked apart the potential wording of the ban, saying it might have loopholes anyway.
So his argument is basically, don't legislate against good execution. If it's within the rules, let teams compete.
Yeah. His vote, keep it.
And Ayrton Osley, Similar vibe.
Very similar. He stresses that teams are always looking for advantages within the rules. That's football.
The strategy, innovation.
Right. And the Eagles, with that strong O-line, with hertz of power, they found an edge in short yardage. Osley says instead of banning it, other teams should figure out how to stop it. Adapt defensively.
Improve your own personnel or scheme to counter it. Don't just ask the league to take it away.
Exactly. So Osley's vote is also keep it. That makes 4 experts arguing against the ban.
Okay, so the core arguments for keeping it seem to revolve around fairness to the innovators, the lack of clear safety data, and the idea that defenses should adapt rather than relying on rule changes to stop effective plays.
That sums it up pretty well.
All right, let's flip the coin. What's the case for banning the tush push? Why do some experts think it needs to go?
Tom Vieira jumps right to the entertainment factor. He sees that high success rate. He cites next-gen stats saying 28 out of 34 attempts in 2024 for the Eagles.
Yeah, that's almost automatic.
And he argues that near certainty is actually bad for the game's excitement. Those crucial short yardage moments lose their tension, their drama.
Because you basically know the outcome before the snap.
Kind of, yeah. His worry is, what if all teams master this? Does every 4th and 1 become a predictable scrum? He points out the regular QB snake never caused this kind of uproar.
That's interesting. So maybe it's the pushing element that changes the dynamic, makes it feel less like a traditional balanced play and more like, I don't know, a loophole.
Could be. He thinks it diminishes the viewing experience if it becomes too dominant. His vote, ban it.
Okay, entertainment value. What else?
Nick Brinkerhoff uses this analogy I thought was pretty good. He compared the Eagles' dominance with the play to, like, your favorite local restaurant getting super popular.
Okay.
You're happy for them, but now it's always packed. You can't get a table. It kind of ruins your experience.
Okay. Too much of a good thing, potentially.
Exactly. He worries about a future where tushes get pushed all game long, as he put it. Just constant pushing plays and short yardage, making the game less varied, less appealing overall.
So a concern about the potential slippery slope. If everyone starts doing it effectively, the game itself suffers.
Right. He sees it potentially hurting the NFL's overall product appeal, so Brinkerhoff votes to ban it.
Yeah, that makes sense. And Joe Rivera, what's his angle?
Rivera calls it suffering from success. He actually acknowledges, yeah, it might seem unfair to Philly. They figured something out. They execute it brilliantly. Yeah. But he argues it might be better for the league, for the overall health of the game, to step in now. Ban it before lots of other teams get just as good at it.
Proactive intervention, basically.
His fear is waiting too long. If you wait until half the league masters it, then short yardage situations everywhere become predictable, maybe even boring. It's about preserving that element of uncertainty.
So it's a future-proofing argument. Nip it in the bud before it potentially homogenizes a key part of the game across the league.
Precisely. So Rivera's vote is also to ban it.
Okay, so adding Vieira, Brinkerhoff, and Rivera, that's 3 experts arguing for the ban.
Right, which puts the tally at 4 experts saying keep it, 3 saying ban it, based on this USA Today panel.
So definitely not a slam dunk either way. It's really divided, even among people who study this stuff closely.
It absolutely is. It highlights just how tricky this is. You've got innovation versus competitive balance, you've got questions about safety, and you've got the whole entertainment angle.
Yeah, it touches on a lot of fundamental tensions in managing a pro sports league.
So hopefully, hearing these different expert takes laid out gives you a really solid grasp of what's actually being debated here with this breaking NFL news. It's clear why even the analysts are split.
Definitely. There are strong arguments on both sides.
Yeah.
And, stepping back from just this one play, this whole situation kind of highlights that constant push and pull in the NFL, right?
How so?
Between teams pushing the boundaries with strategy and the league trying to maintain, a certain kind of balance. Balance between offense and defense, keeping things competitive, making sure it's still fun to watch.
Yeah, that's a great point. It really forces you to think bigger picture, like beyond just the tush push. What is the NFL's core responsibility here? How do they best manage that line between rewarding clever teams who find an edge and making sure the game stays fair and exciting for everyone watching?
It's a tough needle to thread.
It really is. Definitely something to keep in mind as we wait to see what the owners decide. A seemingly small rule change can have some pretty big ripple effects.